Hey, it's Wagner here, and I am covering week 4. So I'm actually going to start over again. Hey, it's Mrs. Wagner. Here we go. We're still doing this packet, 427 to 510. This will be the last video. Just taking a look at the videos we've done so far. So you had the first video, and then the second, third, fourth. And now we are going to the 5th video. So this is actually the 5th video for this packet, the 3rd one for week 4. Okay, so just going through that. Hope you guys are doing well. And I need to get to page 10. That's where we are. So on page 10, we're going to be looking at what if you had to figure out the angle, if we had to go reverse. So I just want to point out that you see this function key in the Desmos. You also have a second key here in your phone calculator. The Desmos is just so much easier to use. Here's just another way to show you your second key on your phone. I'm going to come back up to Desmos, and I'm going to clear out what I have here. And I just want to show you this function key right there. Okay, you see that function key? So this is our main key, and I just want to circle right here. That's our function key. So that's what we will be clicking on, and then we see our inverse functions. Do it on a different calculator if you want. It's just easier on Desmos. So if we said some angle, right? We don't know what angle, but some angle gives us the answer of 0.5 or 1/2. We don't know what this angle is, so we have to take the inverse. So to take the inverse sign, we want to come over here. We already got it set up. We say what angle gives us the answer of 0.5, right? We don't know what the angle is, so I actually had to type in 0.5 there. But if I didn't want to, I could go back to the main to type in the 0.5 if I wanted to. And then it shows me the answer is 30 degrees. So that's what I have here. The answer is 30 degrees. That's all you have to do for this first part. So what gives me the answer of 3.2 when I take the tangent of it? So I don't know what this angle is. Remember, when I take a trig function, it's always of an angle. So this x is going to be an angle. Oh, so that x is going to be an angle. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to clear that out. I'm going to put in my function key, and I'm just going to say inverse function. Then I can go back to the main if I want to put in the value, which in this case is 3.2. So then I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to put in 3.2. Not 3.3, 3.2, close my parentheses, and it looks like it's a 72.64. So if I come over here, I would, since it's 0.64, I can round it off to just 0.6 for that. Now let's see if we can do this last one. So go ahead and do inverse sine cosine right now and see if you get this 82.5. So how am I going to use that when it comes for a problem? Well, same stuff we did before. Let me put on my drawing tools. We figure out what our angle is. So we're looking at this angle here, and then we say, okay, well, what's opposite to it? What's the biggest side, and what is the adjacent? And then I put stars on it because remember, it's hard for me to put checks on it. So I put stars on it and said, okay, so we have 13 and 21. Well, that's adjacent and hypotenuse. And are you still putting your SOHCAHTOA down the side? I hope you are. Because if you have your SOHCAHTOA down the side, then you know adjacent over the hypotenuse, that's cosine. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 13 over 21. And then I get this big decimal here, right? So then I say, what angle has the cosine of 0.619? And so forth? It's 51 degrees. Now let me show you something though. Instead of putting this big number in, it's easier to just go ahead and get my calculator. Let me clear it out here and do my inverse, and I have my cosine. I go back here so I can type things in, And let me go back here and see 13 over 21. So I can get in the right place, 13, I'm going to press that, then I'm going to push the divide it by 21, right? And then I'm going to say, okay, that's it. Oh, actually I don't want it there. So I'm going to use my arrow key, and now I'm going to put my parentheses closed. So that gives me 51.75. Now since it's 0.75, that 5 makes that go up to 8, which is what I have, 51.8. So that's the angle I get there. So now we just have to go ahead and check this out and see if we can do it. So I want you to try this one on your own. So let me put on my drawing symbols, or drawing, there we go, drawing stuff. So this right here is my opposite. This right here is my hypotenuse, and this right here is my adjacent, right? So if I have my trig functions down the side here, I know that I have opposite and adjacent, so that is what trig function, hopefully you know, it would be tangent. So that would give me the tangent. I'm going to grab my handy dandy board here and see what I can do. So I'm going to say the tangent of some angle, I'm going to say x, equals whatever is opposite to x, which we said was 82 over 70. It's hard for me to read it, like, come on. Nope. Okay, so I'll look at this paper here, 73. Okay, so let me just do the whole board here so you can see it. So the tangent of x, I don't know where the thing's coming from. Tangent of x is 82 over 73. So what do we have to do for that? Well, let me change my viewpoint here. So we're going to go back up to Desmos, and I'm going to clear out what I did, and I'm going to hit my function key, and I'm going to say my inverse tangent, and then I'm going to say 82. I'm going to have to go back to main to get my numbers. 82 divided by 73. Uh-oh, something's happening. And then I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay, and it looks like I get about 48.3, which if you go over here, I say, okay, well, here's the answer if you want to check it. So what would you do for the rest? Let's see what else we've got here. We've got some pictures, so I'm going to go like that. So we have our angle. So we can always do our squirt bottle to get the opposite. Our big side is my H, and here's my adjacent. So I have adjacent, and I have hypotenuse. So adjacent and hypotenuse, well, hopefully you know that that's cosine. So if it's cosine, let me just turn that off. If that's cosine, so it's going to be a cosine of some angle equals adjacent, which is 8, over 17. So blah, blah, blah. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. So you can see that it's the cosine of some angle equals 8 over 17. And then you just have to put that in there. So I'll do one more with you. Let me go ahead and change my view. Just put this here. So we have a clear here, and then I'm going back to my function. So I'm going to do inverse cosine, and then I'm going to put 8. Go back to my main. I'm going to put 8 over 17, and then I'm going to use my arrow key to go 1 over and put my parentheses and click equals, and there I go, and there I have my answer. So since it's 61.92, let me just use this here, I can see that this 2 is not going to change it, so it's just going to be 61.9. Accuracy is going to be important to us, so it doesn't hurt for us to try to be a little accurate now. So what can you do with the rest of these? Well, looks like I did just number 1 for you. The first thing that you should be doing for every single one of these is labeling. just like I'm doing for number 2. You need to say, okay, here's my opposite. The longest side is my hypotenuse, and that's my adjacent. And then the second thing after you label it is to check it. So I have something here on my adjacent, I have something here on my opposite, and then if you have your SOHCAHTOA written down the side of your page, like I told you to do all the time, then you would see that the O and the A is with the T or the tangent, and then you can go from there. Same thing with the rest of them. Okay, so you're looking for your opposite, you're looking for your longest side, and then this would be the adjacent. So in this case, you'd have your A and your H, which is the same, which is not the same, which is different. Your A and your H is cosine. So I don't really want to do all these for you. Some of them are a little bit harder to see, like this one's going to be the opposite side. This one is going to be the opposite side. So, I mean, just take a look at what you have. If you have any questions, I'm certainly here to help you. Let me just turn the viewpoint back in. If you take a look at the last part, is just, can you self-assess your knowledge? Can you maybe draw some right triangles and see? That's really all. That's for you. So I'd like you to do the problems, but I mean, for you to really know whether you know it, it's good to do your own little self-assessment to see if you really understand it. Remember that I'm always here for you. We can do a Zoom session. We can do a phone call. So just let me know what you need. I'm not sure what you need. I'm there for you. Okay. Looks like I'm almost out of time. Remember, YouTube's been kind of tricky with me, so I'm going to sign out now with a real sign off since YouTube cut short my other videos. Wish you guys the best. Bye.